And joining me now is Democratic presidential candidate, Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey. Senator Booker, welcome back to Meet the Press.
It's really good to be here.
Before I get into some of the specifics of this campaign, I want to quote something from Maureen Dowd's column this morning in the New York Times. She writes about sort of the larger issue of watching the debate. Headline says, "Are Democrats doomed?" And she writes this: "It's a paradox wrapped in an oxymoron about a moron. Trump's faux authenticity somehow makes the Democratic candidate seem more packaged, more stuck in politician speak." You and I were discussing this before. This debate process it's very rigid, lots of people on stage and all of that. Are you concerned? She seems concerned about the picture that the country is seeing right now, the Democratic Party. Are you?
No, not at all. Look, I've actually had some friends of mine in the press send me headlines from this time in a presidential election in 07, and you just see how there's going to be a sort of a scrimmage right now going on within our team. And it may not be the message, but it may not be the exact spirit that's going to be on that stage, because you're seeing a natural competition of ideas. So I'm not worried. We have to go through this. It's part of the process. It's a good thing. You're seeing some of the best political talent in our country. And I have a lot of confidence. In fact, I'm making the case that we are going to choose somebody that's going to be able to unite the disparate voices of our party and really bring a united front to this president.
Where it does seem as you're trying to somehow bridge a divide that appears to some of us between, say, Warren and Sanders and Vice President Biden, of saying, be incrementally aspirational. I guess if to meeting, like, look, it's baby steps. The goal is Medicare for All, as you say, but you're not saying you're going to get there tomorrow. It seems as if that message is hard to wedge in here. People either say, hey, no, give me an electable guy, or give me the transformation.
Yeah, look, I can't stand these people that say these bright lanes. For me, I feel it when I talk to really good people on that stage that I know, that there is a unifying message here that, look, we are a nation with a savagely broken healthcare system. This is the party, not the guy that's trying to take it away, that's in the White House right now. We've seen, since Obama, Affordable Care Act, number of insured in this country go down significantly. We're the party that's trying to say everybody should have health insurance. We're going to fight to get there. We can put the ideal out there, but walk and chew gum at the same time. In other words, not sacrifice progress for purity.
I want to put up the poll numbers for this, because among Democrats on Medicare for All, among Democrats, they would prefer building on Obamacare, 55%, replace it with Medicare for All, 40%. I imagine many Democrats say that because they remember the political trauma of what it took. It's not as if, like, Obamacare was easy to implement, easy to get passed. Do you think you have to take that into account, how hard it would be to actually get it, Medicare for All, implemented before you propose it?
You know, when I walk around and actually have conversations with people, this is where you're right, Maureen's right, about the political sloganeering. I think most people have multiple views of what Medicare for All is, even in the first place. Americans are very frustrated with our healthcare system. Prescription drugs are ridiculously too high, especially relative to other nations as close as Canada. We have a system that seems bureaucratic. People have to fight with their insurance companies. And so I think folks just want this broken, expensive system that, by the way, incentivizes all the wrong behavior. Don't go to a doctor, ration your drugs. We need to fix this system, and I think that we are the party that's putting forth a vision to do just that.
Right, but do you worry that you're scaring, that either you're doing one of two things, overpromising something that can't be delivered.
Right.
Or, at the time, also scaring independents who are fiscally frightened by it.
I'm not worried. 2018 was an election that turned in many ways on health insurance, and we knew this stark contrast. One party that's trying to make it better, that's going to bring progress, and another party that is trying to kill it, is trying to take it away, is trying to cut your benefits or end Obamacare and your protections from pre-existing conditions.
You've spent a lot of time on stage with Vice President Biden. Are you concerned about his ability to get the ball over the goal line, as you said?
Well, number one, anybody on the stage, anybody that I was with the other night would be a better president than the one we have.
Is everybody ready? Is everybody physically up to it?
Look, I think that, again, if I thought somebody else could do the job better than me, I would not be running. And I know this for a fact. this is not just about one office. This is about getting rid of Mitch McConnell as the majority leader. This is about state houses and governor's houses. At the top of America's ticket, in our party, we need someone who can energize, that can ignite, that can capture the moral imagination of this country. I believe I'm the best person to do that and unify people.
But you're not alone. I want to put up some headlines from all the debates. After every debate, you've gotten some really good reviews. First debate, Booker reminded Democrats that he's a gifted communicator. Second debate, he did well on Wednesday night. Third debate, probably his best performance so far. Hasn't translated into the polls. The three frontrunners are the three frontrunners, and it seems like there's a bigger gap now between those three and the rest of you. What's your diagnosis of why you haven't caught on yet?
Well, we have, and where it matters, and you're sophisticated enough to know politics. The polls have never been predictive this far out. In fact, if you're polling ahead right now, you should worry, because we've never, in my lifetime and yours, had somebody who was polling ahead this far out that went on to the presidency. The people that usually win are younger, dynamic candidates that are considered long shots: Carter, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama. But here's something that's even more interesting to note. On the ground in those states where you're going to have 300, 400,000 people in Iowa deciding, in caucus rooms, we have more endorsements from state legislators and mayors than all the top 5 polling candidates combined.
Right.
In other words, the people on the ground in Iowa who are seeing what's happening, who are going to be in those caucus rooms, are choosing my campaign. We have a better organization, according to the Des Moines Register, than just about every other candidate. We're going to win this the same way I beat a machine in Newark, New Jersey, through organizing, through building a team that's going to win.
The Senate is back. There might be some gun legislation. Senator Pat Toomey is trying to get his background check bill in. You said something interesting at the debate about, we're letting too many things, the enemy of the perfect metaphor you used. Do you feel that way about the gun issue as well? Because you're pushing for mandatory buybacks. You're pushing for gun registration. But do you also say, you know what, if you can get an expanded background check, take it for now and move on?
Look, the only major bipartisan bill to pass under this president was one that I led in the Senate with Dick Durbin for criminal justice reform. The bill didn't get a lot done that I wanted to and will continue to fight for, but thousands of people have been liberated from prison. You talk to those folks who are out of prison right now.
You take what you can get.
You get as much off of the table as you can, but one thing I will not allow happen for the rest of my life is to let this debate to be framed by the corporate gun lobby who's been stultifying our national conversation on guns. Overwhelmingly, the majority of Americans agree on bold action and the carnage that's happening, not just on the awful mass shootings that we see, but every single day we have in the aggregate a mass shooting destroying communities, lives, families.
Democratic Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey, I know you've got to get to some campaigning. Thanks for stopping by here.
Thank you for having me.
Be safe on the trail.
Appreciate you.
You got it.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and then click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.